chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Eldoret, Chamge, get ready. The Insurance Open Day is here. The Insurance Regulatory Authority, in partnership with the County Government of Uasin Gishu, is bringing the insurance message to you. Join us from 16 to 18 June 2021 at the Central Primary School grounds and learn about insurance. Insurance companies and other financial regulators like the Retirement Benefits and the Capital Markets Authorities will be present to educate you on the various financial services and products available in the market. IRA officers will be present to address any concerns and clarifications on your insurance policies. Entry is free and all Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols and guidelines will be observed. Get to Eldoret. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured.
There is light at the end of the tunnel for counties. National Treasury today committed to disbursing the over 40 billion shillings to the counties by this particular Friday. A very good afternoon, this 15th day of June 2021. Welcome to this broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng Oumma and our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. Of course, today also saw the Ministry of Education launch the Form 1 selection exercise, and that's where we begin. Form 1 students are scheduled to report to school on August 2nd. All the 1 million plus candidates who sat for the 2020 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education will transit to secondary level. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says the government has moved to ensure the success of their 100% transition policy and that no student should be denied admittance due to lack of school fees. Have a look.
I know that as I speak here and now, because politics is coming, there are people who are running around looking for money for politics. If I catch you in my ministry, it is your choice. It is your choice. Are we together here? Because it is not proper for us to take from the child. We look at the schools, and the teachers are doing a wonderful job. As I go to the schools, as I see the schools, they are doing a wonderful job. We have to encourage them. I was being told that it is my officers in the field who are encouraging the teachers to give us wrong data. Oh, a lot of money is coming, so you should say we don't have 20 boarding houses when you're only lacking maybe 2. And the people who are supposed to look at them are the ones who are encouraging them to lie. Somebody says the school is lacking 50 toilets, and the school has in excess of 124 toilets. That's what is happening right now. And for those who are not aware, every school is now on GIS. Every school is now on GIS, plus the photographs. So if you take money from Magoha that you are going to do a school, I will even check whether there's any activity happening there. So blood is likely going to flow if you think it is going to be the same thing that's going to happen. In the selection, we have strictly applied the principles of equity, fairness, merit, transparency, inclusiveness, and affirmative action in placing candidates to each school category. And that's why this placement has taken a little bit longer. And I wish to apologize to the Wananchi, but you see it is better to give a thorough job done a little bit later. Now, the national school category, and let me just say that the girls are more than boys. So it is time now to start focusing on the boy child. We have got 585,942 girls compared to 585,323 boys. At this rate, I don't know what's going to happen next year. So we must start pitching the tent for the boy also. Since the girl is the receptacle, we will still have to ensure that we carry the girl to school, because some of them may have already been confused now, whether they are pregnant or not. We are taking them to school. In national schools, girls that are admitted there are 17,406, boys 18,848, total 36,254. SNE girls 536, boys 1,291. I would like to ask my handlers to find out whether could there be girls with SNE that we are not picking from the population. This difference is very big. Total 1,829. Extra county schools have taken girls 95,646, boys 105,431. Total 201,077. County schools, girls 115,325, boys 98,266. Total 213,591. Sub-county schools, girls 357,029, boys 361,487, total 718,516. Totals I've given you. In the placement, the majority of candidates who scored 400 marks and above were placed in the national schools or extra county schools of their choice. Special needs candidates were also placed in regular schools of their preference, while others were placed in special schools based on their disability categories on merit and choice.
Away from that particular matter, we know that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission launched their Voter Education Week that commenced yesterday and will be continuing for the next 7 days. Today, the Commission launched their strategic plan for the years 2020 to 2024. Currently speaking is the IEBC Chairperson Wafula Chebukati. Let's listen in.
The Commission will come up, already has come up with, and this will be announced in due course, that we shall have multiple servers, not just one server, but several servers available, the media, the public, the candidates if possible, and political parties if possible, but a framework will be generated so that the information coming or being transmitted will be the same information in each of the servers. The ones who do IT can possibly explain that better. But the issue of having one server and that pre-server information will not be there come 2022. And lastly, on that issue, we're working again in partnership with the Communication Authority of Kenya, whom we have held meetings and set up a joint technical committee. The Communication Authority, among other things, will undertake quality of service parameters for each and every polling station in the country, so that we know which polling station can transmit results which has 3G network. Now, those which may not have, then alternative arrangements will be made, and Kenyans will know in advance which polling station is unable to transmit, so that we don't get into a situation where there is suspicion and mistrust. So all those issues have been addressed, and just want to reiterate that the Commission is ready to work with any other stakeholder who I believe wishes to contribute towards the success of the upcoming general elections. As I said, this is not my day to speak. I would like the chief guest to, I'm sure the chief guest has a longer speech, so let me not take too much time. Without much ado, it's now my singular honor to invite the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Madam Anna Madi, to give the keynote speech, and please welcome her with a warm clap. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair Mr. Wanyonyi Chebukati, as I've known you for the last 30 years or so. Honorable Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of the Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome, who would have loved to be here to celebrate this occasion with the Commission, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she was unable to join us. She has conveyed her greetings and goodwill message to you, Mr. Chebukati, Chair of the Commission, all the commissioners, and indeed all the invited guests. I'm pleased to be here. I was privileged to attend the launch of the IEBC strategic plan 5 years ago, and I do not take it for granted that I've had the opportunity and privilege to share this moment with you. So I'll go straight to the speech of the Chief Justice, and this is what she has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today to launch the IEBC third strategic plan for the period 2020-2024 and other resultant procedural instruments like the Boundary Review Operation Plan and the Election Operation Plan, among other manuals, that will provide a roadmap for the Commission's programs and activities as it prepares to conduct the 2022 general election. It is indeed gratifying to note that the Commission, in readying itself to carry out this onerous responsibility, has decided to codify their strategic priorities. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, established as a constitutional commission under Articles 88 and 248 of the Constitution of Kenya, and administered under the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Act of Kenya 2011, is a very critical electoral governance institution in this country. Given the heated political climate that we find ourselves in every 5-year electoral cycle, and this was alluded to by Honorable Tuju, it behoves both our institutions, that is the IEBC and the judiciary, charged with the responsibility of administering elections and adjudicating disputes arising therefrom, respectively, to have in place mechanisms that will ensure transparent and accountable processes. Ladies and gentlemen, after the 2007 post-election violence witnessed in this country, the judiciary set out to develop an effective and efficient electoral dispute resolution process that was ready and in place in the run-up to the 2013 general elections. This process was steered by the Judiciary Working Committee on Election Preparations, which was mandated with advising the judiciary on administrative measures and systems for monitoring and evaluating the management of election-related disputes in court. This was for the sole reason of ensuring the efficient disposal of electoral disputes. And this process entailed, among others, the design of a capacity building program for our judges, judicial officers, and staff on electoral matters, stakeholder engagement, and a public outreach strategy designed to inform the public on the election dispute resolution process. Ladies and gentlemen, the experiences gained from 2013 electoral dispute resolution period informed the need to convert the then ad hoc Judiciary Working Committee on Election Preparations to a permanent committee. Thus, in August 2015, the Judiciary Committee on Elections, or JCE as we call it, was made a standing committee to provide a mechanism to assist the judiciary prepare for the discharge of its mandate on electoral dispute resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2018, we had and determined 388 electoral dispute cases compared to 188 in 2013. That was an increase of 200 cases from the previous election. Remember that our electoral legal regime gives very stringent timelines that must be kept, and all cases of this nature must be completed within 6 months. So with this huge increase, of course, was the pressure on the judiciary. So the challenge that I want to pose to the IEBC is, how can we minimize this? In 2022, going to 2023, when the dispute resolution processes will be going on, do we have a role in ensuring that we minimize this number? And I say this taking into account a country like Ghana that only had 7 electoral disputes in their last election. So what I was asking myself, is it that the people of Ghana trust their electoral commission more than we do, or is it that Kenyans are more litigious than our brothers out there? So it is something for us to think about even as we launch this very important document. The launch of the IEBC strategic plan, operation plans, and manuals could not have come at a better time for us at the judiciary. Preparations on electoral dispute resolution has started now in readiness for 2022. And our judges, our magistrates, our staff need to be acquainted with the new areas introduced, especially around scrutiny of documents and other components of the electoral operations. The Judiciary Committee on Elections has been consulting with all stakeholders, including the IEBC, and Chair has alluded to this, in formulating various rules and regulations to guide the conduct of electoral disputes in our courts. This also goes to the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal that deals with the party primaries disputes. It is therefore gratifying to note that the Commission on its part intends to pursue citizen-centered strategic interventions, including review of the organization structure to meet changing needs and expectations, continuous engagements with partners and stakeholders, and strengthening collaboration with both state and non-state actors. We see this as a great opportunity to further engagement with the judiciary as we prepare for the next phase of electoral dispute resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 global pandemic has made it necessary and imperative for us to change the way we have traditionally conducted our business everywhere. And this calls for re-engineering of our processes. It is noted that in this regard, the Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, has developed protocols that will enable the seamless execution of the Commission's constitutional mandate on elections and boundary delimitation. Funding for the various planned targets is required, in fact, timely funding, and we request those responsible, the National Treasury, the National Assembly, all partners, to support the Commission in order to realize the funding that is required for this important institution. It is on record, ladies and gentlemen, that in the lead up to the 2017 elections, key institutions
That is the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Anne Amadi, addressing the forum currently happening at the Bomas of Kenya, where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission today is launching its strategic plan for the years 2020 to 2024, among other instrumental documents, which include the Election Operational Plan, Boundaries Review Operation Plan, of course, going to inform how the Commission prepares for the 2022 general elections. We'll be following up that story for you, and we'll give you details in our subsequent news bulletins. Now, moving on, residents of Kayole and MIHANGO areas have held demos over increased cases of insecurity in the region. The locals allege that criminal gangs are using the MIHANGO bridge as a base to launch attacks, even as they questioned why the bridge has been under construction for almost 10 years.
It is a route used by public service vehicles and ballast transporters to reduce the distance covered between Utawala and Kayole.
Dangai wanakuja kutupea hapa kazi ya waitengeneza bridge, wanaenda kuchukua watu upande ingine Utawala huko. Sisi watu watupei kazi sasa. Kabla wafunge hii bridge hii, kokote inakaanga hapa tu. Hata tuusi.
Tungeomba hata serikali ijaribu kutuangalia. Juu hata kupandisha customer hapa ni shida sana. Kuna wamama hata unabeba mwingine ni mjamzito, lakini wanalalamika sana. Juu hata huwezi enda na speed kubwa na mashimo ni mingi.
Residents say the bridge has been under construction for almost 10 years.
Makaribu inaelekea maka 10 hii. Kutoka wakati ya Kidero, barabara moja tu imeshinda kumalizwa.
Tungeomba yenye atuangalie juu hii ni pande yake bado. Ajaribu kuangalia hii maneno. Juu sasa hata watu hata wapande yake wanalalamika sana. Hao ndio walalamishi sana wenye wanaishi huko. Juu hao ndio tunasabu zaidi.
The locals claim that the incomplete bridge has led to insecurity in the area.
Hapa watu huibiwa sana. Masaa ya saa 2, kuanzia saa 2. No, sasa ingekuwa imemalizika, unajua kungekuwa hata na hizi lights za barabara. No, sasa hakuna security. Juu hii bridge kutomalizika. Sasa tungeomba hata tumaliziwe ndo mambo kama hayo hata iweze kutuondokea.
The residents have accused their leaders of doing little to ensure the completion of the project, which would ensure smooth flow of traffic in the area. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Masharia.
All right, that report takes us to our first break right here on KBC Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We are coming back with much more.
Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii. Uko shoni yangu. Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako, Chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Every time I'm in front of the camera, I remember my culture.
After all, story ni yetu. Kama unadai drama origi, telenovelas na sports, get your GoTV decoder na 1 month GoTV Plus for 1,299 bob. Download my GoTV app kumanage account yako on the go, ama dial *423# kusubscribe, kupay, kureconnect, kuupgrade ama kuclear errors. GoTV, love it.
Thank you very much for coming here for this event. This event was launching of the broadcasting rights for KBC for the World Rally Championship, the WRC Safari Rally for this year, 2021. Therefore, every Kenyan is going to be able to have an opportunity to watch every step and every action that is going on the rally. It's a great time for us. We're very excited that after 19 years, the rally is actually back here in Kenya. The President has put a lot of effort to ensure that this has happened, as well as the Ministry of Sports under CS Amina Mohammed, to make sure that we're going to see this great event come back to our country.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, we are also posting some of the stories on our website, www.kbc.co.ke, and continue engaging us on social media as well. Now, moving on, plans to resettle over 800 families at Chepchoina settlement scheme in Trans Nzoia County face challenges after the affected families rejected a committee selected for the resettlement exercise. The families camping at Katikmokor in neighboring West Pokot since March this year accused the government of imposing leaders on them to spearhead the resettlement plan.
The residents led by Mutai Moiben and Pamela Chepkemoi have read malice in the resettlement plan. The residents have threatened to go to court if they are not involved in the process.
Na hao wenye wamekuja chagua kamati ni akina nani? Serikali tumekataa hiyo maneno na hatujui hata. Tupewe time ya mwezi 2 na tuitwe tuandae kamati ya wenyewe mpaka wale walifurushwa tujue wenyewe, sababu kila mtu anajua mpaka mipaka ya shamba yake.
Speaking in Chepchoina, Kapengure MP Samuel Moroto warned the government against sidelining locals in the resettlement process, terming the exclusion as recipe for bloodshed.
Kwa hivyo haki yao lazima ichunguzwe. Kama bado wanalalamika, nataka niambie tu serikali weka masikio kwa hawa. Uliseni ni watu ambao wale watu wa haramu wasianze kuongoza wale watabeli kama wenye analima saizi. Unapata mtu mmoja analima karibu eka 1,000.
Moroto accused some senior government officials and tycoons for planning to grab land meant for the poor and called for the intervention of land CS Farida Karone. The families decry what they call deplorable conditions. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Amamboyo Tiende.
Now, to Kisii County, the government has been urged to double down on parents who have denied their children living with disability the right to education. The chairperson of the National Fund for the Disabled, Amos Mokenye, says no parent should hold their child at home, challenging them to take advantage of the opportunities that have been made available by the government in the provision of free basic education. Speaking when he handed assistive devices and equipment to persons living with disability in Kisii and Nyamira counties, Mokenye said some parents have defiantly ignored the government's push for education for all. Mokenye challenged persons living with disability to ensure the prudent use of resources made available to them.
We encourage those who have not applied as well to apply. I know we have a lot of applications in Nairobi, those who applied from Nyamarambe, but only a few came. Sometimes these things are pegged on budget. We have budget limitation. Not everybody who applies in each sub-county gets. but also we have a budget for each sub-county.
Waweze kuja kwa maofisi yetu, waenda kwa maofisi ya machief, ya assistant chief, wakuja kwa ofisi ya social development, na wataweza kupata hizi fomu, wata-apply, vile tutazituma katika hii agency ya National Fund for the Disabled ili wapate usaidizi.
Naomba serikali yetu ya national pamoja na assistant chiefs pamoja na machiefs tushirikiane na sisi viongozi wa walemavu ili tuweze kufichua hao watoto wenye wamefichwa kwa manyumba na waweze kupata usaidizi.
Some of the equipment distributed to the persons living with disability included wheelchairs, white canes, barber toolkits, welding machines, tailoring machines and farming tools. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Now, still on matters education, 2 new primary schools are set to open in RUIRU to help decongest the overcrowded Mwiki Primary School. The construction works at Mutuya and Manguo Primary Schools are almost complete and will be ready for use in the next academic years, which begins in July. The program was funded by the national government in collaboration with the Constituency Development Fund to try and create extra space for learners in the area.
Mutuya Primary School, which was officially opened on Monday, enrolled its first batch of 250 learners, while Manguo Primary School is set to open towards the end of this month, according to RUIRU MP Simon Kingara. The new schools, which sit on a 5-acre piece of land, is a reprieve to Mwihoko Ward residents, as the entire ward initially only had one public primary school. Kingara says the schools in the area, especially Mwiki Primary School, are highly congested and are still grappling with shortage of infrastructure to effectively accommodate learners.
Yale madarasa tulikuwa tumekamilisha yatachukua wanafunzi 250 wale walikuwa meketi hapa wataanza masomo yao kesho, na vile si hii peke yake, tutaendelea kuongeza mashule ndio kila eneo letu watoto wote waingie kwa shule. Mwishoni mwa mwezi wa Julai tutafungua shule ingine pale Manguo eneo la Kio.
The MP says he will do all that is possible to have all public primary schools in the area issued with title deeds to ward off notorious and greedy land grabbers who use fraudulent means to process sham documents.
Furaha yangu ni kuwa sasa ile safari nilikuwa nao ya kupeleka mtoto Mwihoko sasa imefika mwisho. Nitakuwa natembea karibu, hata mtoto atakuwa anajileta mwenyewe. Shule ilikuwa iko mbali, yenye iko hapa ya serikali ni 2 kilometers kutoka hapa. Kutoka hapa kwenda hivyo ni 2 kilometers. Iko mbali. Sasa mtoto unaona hata mtoto wa grade 1 kutembea lazima upeleke huyu mtoto.
The 250 million shilling KASSES Peace Dam in Pokot North is complete and set for official launch this September by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Ugandan counterpart UPSCALING Museveni. The dam is part of a peace initiative signed between Kenya and Uganda in 2019.
The idea to construct KASSES Peace Dam with a capacity of 1.2 billion litres came up as a follow-up to the peace initiative signed between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Yoweri Museveni of Uganda in Moroto in 2019. While inspecting the project, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Jean Wamalwa noted that the project will solve cross-border conflicts among the Turkana, Pokot and Karamoja communities. The launch will coincide with the second anniversary of the Moroto Peace Accord.
But the challenge President Uhuru Kenyatta and President Museveni gave us in 2019 was, why can't we have similar dams as Kobebe in Kenya? And we were directed together with the CS Water to ensure we have one dam that is has the same capacity as Kobebe Dam here in West Pokot. We have another dam in Turkana County and a third dam in Forole in Marsabit County.
According to the Devolution Principal Secretary Makeup One, the project benefit over 9,000 households.
It will go all a long way to help the communities, especially our pastoralists who have been moving very far in search of water and pastures. in search of water for drinking. And we can say that we have a corporate social responsibility whereby there is a borehole which has been sunk to help this community so that they can access clean water.
KASSES residents expressed happiness with the completion of the dam.
Tumeshukuru sana kwa sababu maji umekuwa karibu. Hata ng'ombe yetu saa hii utakula mzuri kwa Kenya pande hii na hata jirani yetu utakuja pande hii.
Sasa maji imekuwa karibu. Sisi hatuwezi kuumia kubeba jerrycan kutoka mbali mpaka 10 kilometers again.
Now I take you to Samburu County. The Samburu County Department of Livestock has introduced the Somali breed of camels in the region with a view of boosting the livelihood of farmers in the region. The 2,148 camels, procured at a cost of 148 million shillings, are expected to reduce the region's dependence on cattle vulnerable to drought.
The Somali camel breed has been found to produce more milk than those kept in Basaloi and Latakweni areas of Samburu County. Kazito Labuka, camel keepers at Latakweni, says the camels would be milked 6 times daily.
Ngamia anakamua mara 3 kwa siku, mchana tena mara 3. Alafu ngamia watoto kama nakuja kama hii manyata rubugu na manyata yangu kwa sababu yuko pale Antebes. Hakuna mtoto anatafuta chakula jioni. Ngamia ya Somalia yuko saidi masiwa. 5 liters sabari moja pande moja. Kwa sababu ngamia anakamua huko na huko watu mbili. Na hii ngamia ya Somalia yuko pesa mingi.
Francis Nganga, County Livestock Officer, says the first batch of 1,149 camels distributed in the 2015-2016 financial year have doubled in number.
Mpaka sasa tumepeana ngamia 1,774. Lakini kipindi hiki cha mwaka huu pia tunaongeza ngamia 375 ili kufikia mwisho wa juma hili tutakuwa tumepeana ngamia 2,149.
Samburu Governor Moses Lennon Kulal says the project will reduce hunger and uplift the nutritional status of women and children under the age of 5.
Today we are distributing about 375. So far we've distributed 2,148 camels at an estimate cost of about 70,000. It's close to 148 million for the pastoralists in lowlands in Samburu. We are hoping that this will go quite far in enhancing food security, particularly for the households.
Meanwhile, the government has launched a land survey on the troubled Nyakenyua farm in Trans Nzoia ahead of the issuance of title deeds to locals. Rift Valley Regional Coordinator George Natembea says the exercise is geared towards ensuring that only valid claimants are handed the title deeds. More than 160 locals say they were gifted their 100-acre piece of land 48 years ago by former President, the late Jomo Kenyatta.
Nyakenyua farm residents could not hide their joy when the government announced that survey work will commence ahead of the distribution of title deeds. Rift Valley Regional Coordinator George Natembea and Cherangani Member of Parliament Joshua Kutunyi said a task force comprising of members of the farm has been formed and will work with surveyors to ensure the exercise follows due process.
Kama kuna mtu mkora hapa na tufanye kazi tumalize na amepata shamba hapa, hatutakuwa tumetenda haki. Hata kama mnampenda namna gani, hata kama ni pasta yenu na ni mwizi, hatuwezi kumwachia shamba. Maana wakati anachukua hiyo shamba, hajachukua shamba yangu au wala shamba ya serikali. Amechukua shamba na kuna mwanaisa mwingine wa Nyakenyua ambaye anatembea pale kwa barabara.
Natembea said the issuance of the title deeds will cure any disputes and frustrations brought about by the hunt for justice. A team headed by Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Sam Ojwang has conducted a rigorous vetting exercise on the farm to weed out imposters. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Channel 1 News.
Now, the government has set aside 7 billion shillings toward And now crossing over into the world of business, the government has set aside 7 billion shillings towards the National Agricultural and Rural Inclusivity Project. The funds will help set up community irrigation projects in a bid to enhance food security. Already several community and county irrigation projects are currently being implemented in various parts of the country at a cost of 20 billion shillings, according to the Ministry of Water and Irrigation.
In the financial year 2021-2022, the government has assigned 60 billion shillings that will go towards the realization of 100% food and nutrition security. Some of the projects to be implemented in the coming financial years include the National Value Chain Support Program, the Agricultural Sector Development Support Program, Small-Scale Irrigation and Value Addition Project. A total of 5 billion shillings has been set aside for these projects. Some of the projects include the 544 million shillings Gakindo Irrigation Project in Murang'a County.
Tunahakika kufikia lile lengo ambalo la kushibisha hii Murang'a yote, na tutaweza kuchidana na hii ukame wa area hii kwa sababu maji yamo. Na sasa kile kitu ningetaka kusema, without water hapa hatuwezi kufanya lolote, lakini kwa kuwa maji yamekuja, tunahakikisha tuna uhakika ya kwamba maji vile atakavyokuja, tuna uhakika wa kupatia watu wote hapa chakula na kila kitu ambacho tunaweza kukuza hapa.
The irrigation project is set to promote food security in the region that has been battered by adverse weather due to climate change.
Mchanga wetu ni mzuri na tunaombea kila mmoja wetu awe na bidii ya kufanya anayoweza ili tuweze kuchukua jukumu hili la gurudumu hili la maisha vizuri tukiwa wote pamoja.
A beneficiary of the project, Julius Gavita, says once completed, the project will help the government achieve its agenda 4 on food security.
Nilijua hii area ni mzuri hata kama iko na jua, na saa hii itakuwa afadhali sana sababu itakuwa mzuri sana sababu maji ikija tutalima, kila mtu atashiba mzuri kabisa.
And the Insurance Regulatory Authority has been urged to implement policies and regulatory frameworks that will offer tailored insurance products at the county level. Kisii Education and Labour County Executive Amos Andama says IRA can partner with county governments and help devolved units save on the rising budgetary allocations on health.
Insurance uptake in Kenya remains low compared to other comparable economies, with the insurance penetration rate as at 2019 being reported at 2.3%, down from 2.4% in 2018, according to the Insurance Regulatory Authority. To that end, counties are mulling tailor-made insurance products that will help push insurance penetration and help counties save on cash for development projects.
Tailor a particular product that can help Council of Governors and our county, for instance, release some of that money for development.
Currently, Kenyans resort to selling valuable property and family heirlooms or rely on crowdfunding online to cater for health expenses owing to a lack of insurance.
You have seen WhatsApp groups. I'm sure all of you have been put on WhatsApp groups to fundraise. Others sell their dear assets that they have invested in over a long period of time to take care of illness.
On its part, IRA says it will embark on a countrywide public sensitization program to safeguard against the negative perception of insurance products.
So we are going around, meeting the people, talking to them, bringing together the regulated entities, that is the brokers you have seen and the industry in general, so that we can be able to engage the public and tell them about the importance of insurance.
Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
Now, Now moving on, a local retailer, Naivas, plans to improve food safety standards in its 71 stores through a partnership with one of its key financiers, the International Finance Corporation. The investments will go towards boosting its environmental, health and food safety department to monitor the quality of meat, milk and vegetables in all its outlets. A statement from the IFC says contaminated food causes over 91 million people to fall sick in Africa every year. Data from the World Health Organization says illnesses caused by consumption of contaminated food cost Africa more than $110 billion in healthcare expenses and lost productivity every year. Under the deal, IFC will support Naivas to attain ISO 22000, which is an internationally recognized food safety management system in some of its outlets. Workers in the food department of Naivas supermarket are expected to receive training on food safety to roll out the system in all its stores. Now on to more news. Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua has backed the proposal by the electoral body to have individuals seeking elective posts in the general election possess degree certificates. Mutua, who spoke in a meeting with Maendeleo Chapchap grassroots leaders in Kiambu County, noted that education is key for formulation of policies to move the nation forward.
Si watu naambiwa somesha mtoto. Sasa kuna haja gani unasomesha mtoto lakini ukienda kuchagua kiongozi unachagua mtu hajasoma? Then why do you take your children to school? It's a contradiction in terms. Watu wasome. Enda rudi shule ufanye degree. Ndio uende ukachambue, unaulizwa laws of Kenya constitution, you can interpret it. We also need to be serious about work. Fanya kazi. Pesa si ati uongozi. You can have money, but you also need an understanding of the law. The law is not just about being rich. It's very simple. The reason there's a requirement for a degree is because you are interpreting law. Being a legislator requires you to interpret law. And to interpret law, you need to have a basic understanding of English, of legal terms, of world view. You need to be able to read the American Constitution and others to interpret law, and that requires a minimum standard.
Local residents in Wangea area of Voi have teamed up to rehabilitate the depleted mountain in the area. As Jackie Wambiru tells us, the group wants to restore the mountain to its original form by planting more trees and fencing off the area to keep off human encroachment.
At the heart of Wangea area in Voi, a group has converged for a noble cause. Through a tree planting exercise, the group aims at planting trees at the top of Wangea Mountain in efforts aimed at conserving the environment.
Lazima tupande miti ikue. Mtu anatoka na familia yake na watoto wake aenda kupumzika pale uwanjani. Mahali para uwanja hakuna mti, hakuna kivuli. Lakini hapa tumeamua kwamba tupatengeneze hapa mahali pawe tourist center. Tuweze ku attract both local and international.
Nafurahia kwamba huu mlima unapopandwa miti unakuwa mzuri na unapendeza, hata kwa watoto wetu baadaye wanaweza kupata job opportunity to this place.
Led by Wangea Savo Group organizer Herbert Mazel, the residents say they came together to conserve the mountain that is on the verge of degradation. The team has set up water points that will be used for storage to water the trees. The residents saying that once the project is successful, it will prevent soil erosion as well as hold rainwater for domestic use. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Now, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has warned politicians across the political divide to steer clear of politicizing the sugar sector recovery plan. Wamalwa noted that the sugar sector has become the epicenter of politics in the Western region, thus discouraging potential investors.
Politics continue to rock Western Kenya sugar millers with the ongoing tussle over the leasing of assets of Mumias Sugar Company and the ailing Zoya Sugar Company as sugar stakeholders devise and propose mechanisms that will rescue farmers and restore sanity in the sugar milling industry. Speaking in Misiku Board, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Oumma called on leaders to stay clear of politicizing matters relating to the sugar sector in funerals, but instead work together to seek lasting solutions to issues affecting the ailing sugar industry that has been the economic backbone of Western Kenya.
Tafadhali tusiweke siasa kwa mambo haya ya maendeleo. Sababu juzi tumesikia hapa Mumias, investor amekuja, amesema yeye ako tayari alete bilioni 5 kuinvest Mumias. Kuna investors ambao wangependa waje tu partner na hii Nzoia. Lakini wanasiasa wakianza kupiga kelele, wanasema kelele za chura hazizuii ng'ombe kunywa maji. Lakini kelele za wanasiasa ni hatari sana. Zitafanya wawekezaji waogope kuja kuinvest in our factories.
The CS, however, noted that the Sugar Task Force had established some of the major challenges facing government-owned sugar millers, in which corruption in the management has led to lack of payment to farmers who supply the cane, as well as workers saying they have started implementing the proposals.
Tuko katika hali ya kutekeleza hayo marekebisho ili tusuluhishe shida ya miwa hii Western, Nyanza na Kenya nzima.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Now on to sports. The national boxing team head coach Musa Benjamin says that his team is well prepared ahead of the Tokyo Olympic Games. The team is currently doing its final touches as they await their departure to Tokyo.
After banging 13 medals, 1 gold, 5 silver and 7 bronze at the African Zone 3 Boxing Championship in Democratic Republic of Congo in March, and also registering good results in Russia, the national boxing team head coach Musa Benjamin is upbeat ahead of the Tokyo Olympic Games. Musa says the team is in tip-top shape and there are no injury concerns.
Wachezaji wote tuko sawa sawa, tunaendelea na mazoezi, schedule iko sawa sawa mazoezi. So sasa hivi tuna work on explosive strength ambao tunahitaji kwa mchezo na vile vile anaerobic strength. We are strengthening our heart and lungs tayari kwa ile rigors ya mchezo wetu. Tuko na physio anaangalia mambo ya misuli for kuitayarisha kwa ile stress ya mapigano.
The Kenyan quartet Nick Okoth, Elia Joey, Elizabeth Akinyi and Christine Ongare changed their training base to Kasarani and now are finalizing as they await their departure date.
Tumekosa mchezo mwingine wa kuweza kujipima nguvu, lakini tutaendelea hivyo hivyo na wale wachezaji ambao wanawasaidia wale wanne ambao wamequalify na nina uhakika kwamba tutaweza kuwakilisha nchi yetu kwa njia inayotakikana.
The Olympic Games are set to kick off on 23rd of July to 8th of August this year. Daniel Mwendwa for Channel 1 Sports.
Moving on, Spain were left frustrated by a well-organized Sweden as Luis Enrique's side opened their Euro 2020 campaign with a 0-0 draw in Seville. Meanwhile, Argentina kicked off their Copa American campaign with an underwhelming 1-1 draw against Chile, but Lionel Messi's sensational free kick and the tributes to Diego Maradona stole the headlines.
Three-time European Championship winner Spain dominated the opening 45 minutes and Sweden needed Robert Olsen to keep out efforts from Dani Olmo. However, despite Luis Enrique's side's dominance, it was Sweden who arguably created the best two opportunities of the game at the side of halftime. Several chances were also created by both sides, but the final whistle ended the game goalless. Spain play again on Saturday when they host Poland, while Sweden will take on Slovakia on Friday at the St. Petersburg Stadium. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi scored a stunning free kick as Argentina were held to a 1-1 draw by Chile in the opening Copa America clash. Messi put his side ahead just after the half-hour mark with a sensational effort, curling the ball over Claudio Bravo into the top corner.
Over the wall, and it's in. Argentina lead 1-0. Brilliant from Lionel Messi. That's what you expect of him.
Argentina enjoyed the best of the match, but were made to pay for failing to extend their lead when VAR judged Arturo Vidal to have been brought down unfairly inside the penalty area. The Inter Milan midfielder missed his spot kick, but former QPR Oloni Eduardo Vargas was quick to react, heading home to claim a point for Chile in Group A.
And that's how we wrap it up right here on KBC. We really appreciate your company. Thank you so much. I know now you're informed. We'll be giving you more details about some of the stories we're still working on in our subsequent news bulletins. My name is Serfine Achieng Oumma, and our sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi. Have a lovely afternoon.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728